Hello again and welcome everybody. A different sort of video today. It's getting close to Christmas, and one thing I really enjoy about Christmas is a traditional Christmas pudding. Not many people cook them these days, but that's what I'm going to try to do. I wouldn't say I'm a good sort of a cook, but like all good cooks, before you start sloshing away at a pudding, the cook has to get sloshed. And what could be better than a nice Australian red? So the recipe calls for 2 cups of water, which you add to a pot like this one. By the way, don't be concerned, I'll put the recipe in both metric and imperial in the description. So that's quite a simple process to make a pudding. And she calls for 250 grams of butter as well as 1 kilogram of mixed fruit. I don't have to weigh these because the supermarket weights pretty much match the recipe. 250 grams of dates. Now that's if it's a date pudding. If you want to make a plum pudding, you use prunes. And as far as the raisins go, I'm looking at the recipe here, 250 grams of raisins also. Now on top of that, you're going to need some sugar. And like all cakes and things, it has a lot of sugar in it. So to start with, I'm just going to look at the recipe again. We need a cup of brown sugar. So we'll use this measuring cup and we'll put a cup of brown sugar in. I keep it in this airtight container because the atmosphere tends to make it go off. So you can't really see here, but you'll just have to take my word for it. It's not wanting to come out there, it needs a bit of help from my finger. It'll come out in a lump in a minute and wreck everything. And I'm not very good with things like this. I'm better at working on motors and things like that. Or maybe the problem is that I haven't drunk enough wine yet to get the coordination right. Almost there. Yeah, the sound you can hear in the background is cicadas. You can't really escape from them in Australia. So that's a cup of brown sugar. What I'll do is I'll show you this way. There you go. So we'll tip that in. I don't have a cameraman, I can't afford one. I think it's time for a sip of wine. That's better. You can't cook without wine. And now we require a cup of white sugar. Just dust my hands up there, they're a little bit dirty. So use the same measuring thing. This one flows a bit freer than the brown sugar. It's supposed to. The humidity we've been having lately. Okay, so just move it up to the camera again. There's a cup. Pop her in there. Can you believe it? I almost forgot to add a teaspoon of salt to the recipe. Yeah, that's about it. Now we'll give it a bit of a stir up. Move around. Yeah, get a bit more power into it. Today I'm going to cook it on the gas burner on the barbecue. If you're in Europe or a cold climate, you'd probably cook the cake inside the house, and you get a nice tasting cake as well as a warm house. But in an Australian summer, well, that's not kind of what you want to do. Okay, so I'll give her a bit of a stir, and I'll pop it on the burner on the barbecue. Okay, this is the beast we're going to be cooking on. Off camera I give that quite a good stir. It's always important with a gas barbecue to turn the gas off when not in use. So now I'll turn the gas on. Don't know if you can see that. Pop her on a low heat. You can see the burner there, and we'll just let that warm up. And when we get a simmer for 8 minutes, I'll move on to the next stage. So next up, we're going to work on the syrup while this is warming up. So with the fruit cooking away on the barbecue, it's time to make the syrup. The recipe calls for 3 eggs, but I usually put an extra in for luck in a bowl such as this one. You watch me make a mistake when I crack the eggs here. After the eggs are cracked, you've got to beat them a little bit. The best way to do that is usually just with a fork, and you just give them a bit of a mash about. Maybe I can move over here to the camera. Hope you can see what's going on there. Okay, so when they look something like that, they're done. The next thing that the recipe calls for is a 1/3 of a cup of rum. Probably doesn't hurt to put a little bit extra of that in for luck as well. It's a question of sorry, it's 1/4 of a cup of rum. I'm putting extra in already, and I'm not even thinking about it. So we put the rum in. And now we need, I have to look at the recipe again, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 2 teaspoons of mixed case spices. Here. So I'll give that a bit of a stir. Give her a good go with the whisk. If you think these old egg beaters look old, well, you're right. They used to belong to my grandmother, and this is the sort of consistency you need when the syrup's finished. Okay, she's simmering away nicely. The recipe calls to take it off the heat and add some bicarb soda, and then you'll see something magic. So we'll turn the barbecue off and let it cool for a little bit. Give her a stir so she won't burn. Now what's got to be added is 2 teaspoons of bicarb soda. So I'm cheating a little bit. I'm using 1 spoon that is the equivalent of 2. So we put that in, stir her up, and you'll see her frothing up there like crazy. It always impresses me when I see that. I'll stir that for a little bit and we'll move on to the next step. So with the syrup a nice consistency, it's time to add the flour to a mixing bowl such as this one. The recipe calls for 2 cups of plain white flour and 2 cups of salt raisin flour. So we'll just tip that out. That's the plain white flour, and do the same for the salt raisin flour. Go. Now, while we're waiting for the fruit to cool, we can grease the pudding basins. Now, there are 2 ways of making a pudding. You can make it in a rag, which is the traditional way, the way my mother and grandmother used to do it, or you can do it in a pudding basin. I find that a pudding basin is easier and better all round, but there's nothing wrong with a rag. The problem with this is it does tend to stick. So the trick is to wipe the inside all out with butter, add a layer of flour, and then when the pudding's all mixed you apportion it to each of these. I cannot get a big enough basin to accommodate this full recipe, so I have to use 2 to do it, but it works out fine. 1 for Christmas Day, 1 for later. So I'll pull the lid off. Bit messy this, but just give everything a bit of a rub with butter. Poor old butter's starting to melt because it's hot, so it's a bit messier than normal. I know someone's not going to be happy with the state of the butter when I do this. I can hear him whinging already. And anyway, not to worry. Yeah, so before I move on to the next step, I might get this butter in the fridge and give my hands a bit of a clean up. Okay, back again. I'll have another sip of wine. There probably is a better way of doing this. If someone wants to leave something in the comments, I'd be very interested. What I do is I tip a little bit of plain white flour into the top of the container and just sort of sprinkle it around with a bit of a shake and a twist. Get the GoPro and give you a look inside there, but I'll give you a look at it when it's finished. And it seems to take a bit, doesn't it? Okay, give that a bit of a go with my fingers. if you don't do this, your pudding tends to break when you open it, so it's important that it's done properly. Now it's time for the top. Up there is dainty. Okay, that's one of two. Okay, they're ready. When they're finished, they look something like this. I think I've got that on camera there. Okay, so we've finally got everything prepared. We've got the syrup, we've got the flour, and we've got the fruit, and as well as a little bit of additional water. What I recommend that you do is that you add the fluids first. Put the syrup into a bowl. I'm trying to shoot with two cameras here so you can get a view of what I'm doing and how it looks. So hopefully it works well. You can see there's a lot of stuff in the bowl there. It's important to get it out because that's where the flavour of the cake is. Yes, it's terribly humid here in Australia. We've had a hell of a lot of rain earlier in the year, and I guess now that summer's here we're paying for it, so you tend to sweat doing nothing. I actually understand that, surprisingly enough, most of my viewers are in America. So hi to you people in America. And I think your season more suits Christmas than mine does. Yeah, it'll probably do. I might put a rinse of water in there just to make sure we get all the good stuff out. Any flavour. Okay, so that's it. Stirring flour is very important because it just tends to naturally lump up. See that's lumping up already. Put a little bit more water in there. The consistency is a bit of a guesswork. There's no measurement. Organic things, they tend to perform a little bit differently. For a long time I worked at sanitarium, not the lunatic asylum, although some people thought that I belonged there, but the actual company that makes wheat bix and all that sort of stuff. And we used to have to test for how much fluid was in the product and that to keep a consistency, and it was amazing just how different it could be. It was unbelievable actually. Yeah, see that's too dry, so I'll go and get some more water, but I'll edit this out because it'll bore the hell out of you. Back again. So there we go. Yeah, might be a little bit too much, but by the time we get it all stirred and get all the lumps out of it. And you'll be sure that if there's a lump in it, my father will find it. Squeeze them against the side. Hope that's coming out on shot. And geez, I wish I could afford a cameraman. Yeah, it's easier to get the lumps out now than before you put the fruit in. Consistency is about perfect, actually. It's really good. Probably if you had a powerful mixer, that might make the job better. But my kitchen isn't really that modern, so I tell you what, I've been drinking wine, but after stirring this up, I think I might need a beer. It's making me bloody thirsty. Yeah, honey, twice in my life I've missed Christmas at home. Once I was in Africa, in Botswana actually, and I always wanted a white Christmas, and I jokingly said at the time, well, I got to have a black one. And another time I was out at the Warrabungles with my granddad. That was the year that Newcastle got its earthquake, so I guess there's kind of a message in that I should be home for Christmas. Yeah. And the girls always used to do this, but sadly the only girls that are left aren't interested anymore, so it falls down to me. If this gets a bit boring, I'll speed it up. I think you've pretty much got the idea of what needs to be done here. Kind of funny, in Australia we celebrate Christmas as they do in the Northern Hemisphere, yet the weather conditions are completely different, so I guess that's a tie-in with tradition, I suppose. You used to see a lot of kids out on bikes and going around the streets showing people what they got, and these days everybody just stays inside and plays with their phones. Yeah, I guess I must be an old fart now. Those noises you can hear isn't someone knocking at our door. Dad's trying to outdo me and he's cooking a fruitcake, so. Okay, so this is how it should look. Time to add the fruit. There's always an argument over who was going to clean stuff out. Well, one of the advantages in cooking a pudding by yourself is you also get to clean everything out. So I probably should be showing you up here. Yeah, there you go. So the fruit's going in. doesn't hurt to leave a little bit of fluid in there for the clean out. It is a little bit sugary, but it does taste nice. Yeah, that's good enough. Let's have a good mix to get the flour and everything right through it. Ideally, you don't want any white. You just want it all to blend in. It becomes like a caramelly sort of colour. There we go. I don't know how long that took, but that's roughly how you prepare it. Now the next step, you need raw measure. You tip it into the pudding basins or into the rag. If you're using a rag, you sort of mount it in a saucepan. But as I said earlier in the video, I prefer a pudding basin. Try not to spill it like I am. A little bit of a bash there to help out with the spoon. Yeah, so that one's, oops, I'm making a mess here. So that's number one. We'll see how much I've guessed. If you get it wrong, just scoop it between one and the other. It's pretty much, I've done a lot of these, so I've sort of got a bit of a feeling for how much they can take, and any surplus, well, you get to eat that, and that's good. Yeah, that's what you want. You want a little bit more. Okay, so we've got the puddings in the bowls with half an inch, 12.7 millimeters from the top. It's time to fit the tops. Yeah, the clips on these pudding vessels are a little bit dodgy. Yeah, they come off. Thankfully there hasn't been a major failure. Yeah, maybe they're a better built one which you can get. But Mum used to do it differently, so she always used the rag. And I've lost a Lincoln clip. Oh, that's good. Don't be too far away. Oh, there it is. Right, now what I like to do, which makes it easier to get out, is I tie a bit of string around these. It's just for getting it out the pot. You'll probably have a different experience when you do it, but as with all things, you've got to adjust for local conditions. Right, it's time to start the cooking process. If I look a bit of a funny shape, that's because I'm filming with a fly eye lens. The water is boiling after an eternity, so now I'm going to gently lower the puddings in without burning myself. So 20 litres of water. Takes one at a time is good. Go in. Now you'll be able to not do that because it puts the flame out. Okay, you can't see it, but they didn't settle properly. God, bloody disaster. That's it. I've got them both now. It's a little bit full now. So when it comes up to temperature, you can turn the gas burner right down, but at this point it's only been flat out. And it's probably going to spill a little bit. Unfortunately, I misjudged the water. My fault, but I've made the mistake, so you don't have to. So initially, when you put the puddings in, the water goes off the boil. But now it's boiling, and you can turn the gas down, and that just simmers away. And I find usually in about 3 hours the water needs to be topped up. So after about 3 hours of cooking, the water level's dropped a bit, so we'll top it up using a cloth because it's topped. The way I topped it up was I boiled the jug, and that way it doesn't go off the boil. You know that she's gone off the boil, but it won't take too long to come back. Well, after 6 hours she's cooked, so I'll leave it on the boil, and I'll take the puddings out and leave them somewhere to sit. They need to set over a period of time. I'm going to go doing this one-handed, but let's see how we go. So there's the first one. Sorry about that. There's the second one. Alright, so now we'll turn the gas off for safety. Burner off as well. Job done. So next time you'll see these will be at Christmas dinner. Well, the big day's finally come. Time to see how the Christmas pudding works. So we'll just release it from the pudding basin. Put her on a piece of wood. It sometimes needs a bit of a bang to come out. Ah, perfect. Come out in one go. And we'll cut a small slice for everybody. Nothing makes a Christmas like a Christmas pudding. Now, Christmas pudding is best served with custard. In the day of my mother, she used to make her own custard, but unfortunately we don't have the skills. So we're running with Paul's double thickness custard, which you just pop on the pudding. Nice generous serve there. That'll do. This is the way she looks, the way she tastes. Absolutely delicious. Well, thank you everyone for watching. I'd like to take this opportunity in an Australian sort of way to wish all my viewers a very happy, merry and enjoyous Christmas. I'm doing it the Australian way with a Bogue's Premium. This is a beer that is made in Tasmania, Australia, and it's actually one of our better beers in this country. So please, I need comments, any ideas you might have on videos that I could make. I'd be happy to accommodate them, and I trust that you and your families and your friends will have a happy, joyous and safe Christmas. And I've got plenty more videos to come out of Egypt. So for now, Merry Christmas. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, there's plenty more to come.